built on or around or next to Bitcoin. Let's just see a show of hands first. Who has used Bitcoin on-chain, you know, layer 1 Bitcoin at some point in their lives? Cool. Who has used Lightning at some point in their lives for stuff and things? And finally, who has used Liquid? Okay, this is what you're working with, Ben, today. This is what you're working with. So you're all in the right place to learn about the next talk. So Ben here works for JAN3, but recently they've been working more and more with Liquid, and in particular a wallet called AQUA. It dropped on January 3rd, 2024. What is the symbolism of January 3rd? Anyone? Just shout out. January 3rd, why is it important in the Bitcoin space? I'm going to go to Ben. Why is it important? Because the Genesis block was mined on January 3rd, 2009. So Bitcoin was launched that day, and the headline of the newspaper that Satoshi Nakamoto chose to timestamp that day was Chancellor on the brink of second bailout of the banks. I think it was that right? It was that right? Yeah, and there's the famous newspaper from then. It was the Times of London, which also makes people think that Satoshi Nakamoto might have been British. Okay, my preamble out the way. Ben, I'd like to welcome you to the stage to present JAN3, AQUA Wallet, and Bitcoin adoption by wildlife NGOs in South Africa. Please put your hands together for Ben. Take it away. Do you want this? Yeah. Clickers here, lecterns there.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. My name is Ben Van Hool. I'm the COO of JAN3. JAN3 actually stands for January 3, as Joe says. And I'm here to talk a little bit about our company and also the product that we've been building over the last year. So JAN3 actually was started in 2022 by Samson Mow. Some of you might know him. Around the time that Samson went to El Salvador to talk to the president there, Nayib Bukele, about adopting Bitcoin in his country. And he actually went there just for one day, but it turned out that he stayed there for a full week, and it was quite productive. And we can see the results. El Salvador did adopt Bitcoin, actually. And that is where the idea came. Maybe it's interesting to build a company around helping nation states, helping politicians to understand Bitcoin. And this is like a top-down approach. It's quite difficult because you're dealing with people that do not really understand Bitcoin. That might even be your enemy if you're talking about a new currency and attacking their own currency. But still, we decided to do so, and JAN3 was born. And that is probably why we are mostly known as the nation-state Bitcoin adoption company. So we engage at all levels. We engage with millionaires, billionaires. You see like Michael Saylor, Nayib, the president, Nayib Bukele. There's also Ricardo Salinas, the Mexican guy in the picture. We recently went to Suriname. We spent like more than a week there. And we managed to talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, to the Central Bank, the Banking Commission, CEOs of companies in the country. And we don't really expect to have immediate results. These are long-term relationships. But still, we feel that these visits have a big impact. Because even in Suriname, some of the politicians already understand that something is happening. They see what's happening in El Salvador. They ask us about how Bitcoin can benefit their country. And they start thinking about it. And they actually already started with working groups. They are thinking about it. I think they're even working already on drafting some kind of simple law that would allow Bitcoin to be used as a legal payment. Not really legal tender, because they have their own currency, but just a legal payment. So at least that there is some regulation in the country and that they can attract investors. But besides all these nation-state activities, we're also a digital infrastructure company. We want to build solutions that can help the next billion people come into Bitcoin. That is why we started building AQUA, actually. And I mean, the idea around AQUA is that we want to have a wallet that can be used by everyone and that can suit everyday's needs. So AQUA is actually a non-custodial wallet. It has Bitcoin, but it also has Liquid. And I'll explain a little bit about Liquid and why we used it. But it's a wallet that is mainly targeted towards emerging markets and Latin America. You will understand why when I start explaining about the wallet. But this wallet can actually become the bank in your pocket. There's a lot of unbanked people in the world. They need to find solutions to be engaged in the economy, and that is what interests us. So the big challenges that we believe we had to solve with AQUA are threefold. First of all, Joe asked who already did like an on-chain transaction. There's many of you who did already, but I don't think that you're making those today. Because if you want to do an on-chain transaction today, if you're lucky, it can be like $2 or $3 to pay as a fee. But if you're unlucky, it can go up to $15 or even $30 if you want the transaction to go fast. So this is caused by ordinals and stuff that you heard already. But we also want fees to go up in the future, actually, because as you know, these fees are paid to the miners, and we need the miners to protect the network. So we don't really expect transaction fees on the base layer to stay very low in the future. That wouldn't make sense, I believe. The base layer is probably going to be a layer being used by the bigger institutions who wants to move big amounts of money around the world using the Bitcoin network. But that means that anyone transacting on the base layer has an issue now. And it also impacts Lightning, in fact, because if you want to open a Lightning channel, you need to have a transaction on the base layer. And that also has become difficult at this point, at least for a regular user. So that is the first issue that we believe we can solve. The second issue is that using Lightning, I mean, Lightning is a great solution, and listening to the previous presentation, there will be, I mean, really nice things coming up there. But still today, running your own non-custodial Lightning wallet, you need to have a node, you need to have channels, you need to balance those channels. It's a really technical thing. And it's not something that the average user can do, not at all, we believe. Now, you can use Lightning in a custodial way. There are nice solutions like Wallet of Satoshi, for instance, but it remains custodial. And we believe that non-custodial is the right way to go. So we are looking for a solution that can bring at least a big part of the non-custodial into a wallet without dealing with complex things like channels and stuff. And then the third thing that we believe is important, and it was also touched on in the previous presentation, is that, especially in Latin America, we see a lot of people who want to escape from their own currency. There's a lot of inflation, and they seek protection by using dollars. But there is really not enough cash dollars in the market, and when you go to the bank and you ask the bank for dollars, they will just refuse. So people are seeking to use digital dollars, and those dollars are very popular on other chains like Ethereum and Tron, but then we want to have them on Bitcoin. And also, that is what we try to solve with AQUA. So maybe let me explain a little bit why Liquid. So Liquid is a side chain of Bitcoin. And Liquid has no own token. Unlike Ethereum or Tron, they have their own tokens. Liquid has no token, it's just a side chain, and it's actually very similar to the Bitcoin code, except that it has faster blocks. I mean, in Bitcoin we have 10 minutes block time. In Liquid we have 1 minute block times. Liquid also allows for confidential transactions, and that can be very helpful for refugees, for instance, or other people in difficult situations. Liquid also has very low transaction fees, so we want to benefit from that in the wallet. You can also issue assets on Liquid. The stablecoin, the US dollar, is being issued on Liquid, so we can use that in the wallet. And we also have smart contract functionality on Liquid. Now, Liquid is run by a federation. So for every Bitcoin circulating in Liquid, there is a Bitcoin locked in a wallet held by the federation. And that federation today is like 15 companies. So some people might say that, well, okay, if you have a Liquid wallet, you're not really non-custodial because there is still the federation. Well, I can agree in a certain extent, but still, if you go from custodial to non-custodial, we are somewhere in between, and we believe that is quite a good solution to have today. Maybe in the future there will be better solutions, but for a real-life solution today, we think that is one of the best to have. So there you have it. This is like the main screen, or part of the main screen that you can see if you would go into AQUA wallet. And we have actually like 3 accounts there. But we divided them into a savings account and a spending account, because we believe that so transacting on the base layer is not going to happen anymore, but you might want to move funds there just to keep them for the longer term, because they're safe in the Bitcoin base layer and fully non-custodial there. Then we have the spending accounts, and under those you have like 2 types. We have the Bitcoin spending account, and that is actually your Bitcoin held on the Liquid blockchain, but we allow for transactions with Lightning. So whenever you send from that second part, the Bitcoin layer 2, you can pay a Lightning invoice, and we will just swap the Liquid Bitcoin over to Lightning, and we will pay that invoice for you, and you won't even notice that. It goes instant. We don't have to wait. It's just like a 0 confirmation time. And that makes it very convenient. Because, I mean, even if you want to onboard someone, people who like to onboard new people into Bitcoin, they know that if you want to onboard someone on a non-custodial Lightning wallet, it's quite a hassle. Again, setting up the channel, having those liquidity, and so on and so on. You don't have to do that with AQUA. You can just send them Liquid Bitcoin. It goes into that second line, and then from there, they can start paying invoices on the Lightning network. And then the other thing is the US dollar. We can also add other assets. There is also a Euro stablecoin in the wallet that you can activate, but it's less popular at this moment. Maybe in the future we will add more assets to that. It's all protected by one seed phrase to make it as simple as possible, because again, we want it to be easy to use for people that do not really understand Bitcoin. So there is one seed phrase, a 12-word seed phrase, that you can note down, that you can store away, and that will always recover your full wallet, the Bitcoin, but also the Liquid Bitcoin and also the Tether. There is no registration required, we don't ask for any information, and we don't track anything in the wallet. That is a policy that we want to stick to. I mean, it's not always easy because we're losing a lot of data about the usage of the wallet, but we believe that it's just important that we don't track anything from users. Then on the stablecoin aspect, because the stablecoins are so popular on Ethereum and Tron, and we want to pull them into Liquid and into the Bitcoin wallet, we decided to build bridges to those other chains. Currently, it's Ethereum and Tron. We could decide on building other bridges, but those are the 2 most popular ones. Because, I mean, we would love to have those users inside a Bitcoin wallet, inside a wallet where they can also experience using Lightning and get acquainted to what Bitcoin is, and then maybe get them away from Ethereum and Tron chains in the future. AQUA can also be a very good remittance wallet. Again, by using USDt, people can send money overseas to other people. So you can do that with Tether. And using Tether on Liquid is actually almost, I think it's really the cheapest way of sending Tether today. It's even cheaper than using Tron or Ethereum. So it would make a lot of sense to use Bitcoin as your remittance wallet, because you can just receive the Tether, the Bitcoin, the dollars into your wallet at very low cost, and then you can actually convert them into liquid Bitcoin, and then you can use that liquid Bitcoin to pay for Lightning invoices and buy stuff in the shop and so on. So you can actually go down to our website and aquawallet.io, and you can find the links to download the wallet there. It's available for Android and iOS. It has multilingual built in. There's like 5 languages at the moment, but we will be adding more languages as we move on. We also have, in the recent update, we have now the light mode and the dark mode. We also promised to open source the code, which we actually did, I believe, last week. We didn't. Thank you. Yeah, we didn't manage to open source it right from the start because we were so busy, but then people were really asking for it, and we kind of pushed really hard to get it out there. And I think it's a necessity, just to be transparent on all levels. We had to remove the biometric and the PIN because we had some small issues with people reporting, but it'll come back in as soon as we can. We do not have support for LN-URL at this moment. Some people might not understand LN-URL, but then we'll have someone explain to you later. But this is an easier way of paying invoices without having to create the invoice yourself and stuff. It'll come in the next step. You will have LN-URL pay. A little bit more difficult to have LN-URL withdraw, but we're thinking about solutions there. We will also add extra currencies so people can see the balance. For instance, in South African rand or in euro, it's only in dollar right now. And we will also add more languages to it. Then there's also a marketplace in the wallet, and that marketplace we're gonna work on in the future will allow us to integrate more Bitcoin services from third parties. So we wanna bring them inside the wallet, so you don't need like 5 apps, but if you wanna buy a voucher or something, you will be able to do it straight from your AQUA wallet. We'll be adding those services. We invite everyone who has a Bitcoin service that is useful to have inside the wallet. We invite them to talk to us, and we can then see if there's possibility to do so. Now, lastly, my wife, who's also here, I don't know, she's around somewhere. We also have a non-profit in Europe for some years already, and we help NGOs in South Africa, mainly in wildlife protection, but there's also a couple of like social community projects going on. We managed to get them to the conference here today. So we have Herd here, which is an elephant organization from up in Hoedspruit. We also have the Black Mambas. They're also nature protecting organization. And we're trying to explain them what Bitcoin is, how they could use Bitcoin in their organization, and maybe even how AQUA Wallet could serve them to be used inside the organization for them. So that's it for today.
Great stuff. Well done. Well done, Ben. Great stuff. Who doesn't have AQUA Wallet downloaded? Shame on you. Shame on you. He was just there. Download it now. Start playing with it. All of these solutions need to be battle tested, and they need to be battle tested by people who know a little bit about Bitcoin. So that's you guys. And yeah, kudos to AQUA Wallet for making it open source just last week. So good to know. We are going to take a 20-minute break right now. We are running a little bit late, but you don't want to miss the next one because it's from our man Ray here. Where is he? Ray on the front row. He's going to blow you all away with a Civ kit. So enjoy a 20-minute break, get a coffee, something to eat, and then see you back here for, I guess we'll start at 5 past, if that's okay, yeah? Great, 5 past. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely morning.